I'm giving somebody the blues today.
EWC Day 4 is upon us. This tournament has been really hype. There's been a lot of great moments. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been comebacks, there's been blowouts, there's been close matches. Before we dive into what happened in the final day, taking a look back just a little bit. For the LCQ, a couple of people made it through. 4 exactly. 3 of those people qualified for the EWC Top 8. That has never been done, and that is also amazing because if you give people an opportunity to just show up at the final second and then all of those guys qualify, but then they also make a real impact on the tournament, go really far, that's incredible. Now, one of the big names that everybody's been talking about is Zubair. This guy has been absolutely untouchable, and the only person they lost to was Keisuke. That person is out of the tournament before day 4 even began, and a lot of people were saying, well, who's going to stop him now, right? No one was able to touch him, and he's been absolutely flawless. We'll talk more about him in just a second. But then you also had the last year first place Ulsan survive to the final day, and also the last year second place LowHigh survived to the 4th day, and then also the most hated Rafe survived to the final day. Me personally, I just respect the type of tenacity and the sheer willpower he's displaying. Being hated by everyone, people calling you a cheater, and then people talking trash about you on the timeline, but you still go out there and prove your skill. That's something that I could respect nonetheless, right? Regardless though, day 4 finally started, and instead of doing first to 3s, they did first to 5s for the whole top 8. This is something that I believe Arslan pushed for. Well, really everyone loves it, but in a game like Tekken 8 where it's so 50-50, it's so guessy, when you're given more time, you're able to figure out when your opponent likes to press, what options they like to do when, and you just have more time to figure out those details and really get to decide the winner by skill. Day 4 began with the commentators standing outside the venue, talking with some of the players. It was really good to see. The competition was really good, but also the commentary, because that's something that was lacking a little bit in the LCQ, and I will say that they definitely picked it up in the actual tournament itself. As for the matches itself, Day 4 began with John Ding versus the unsponsored Yagami. People were calling him the comeback king because last year, I believe it was last year, or was it the first year? Someone can quote me on this, but basically he beat Chanel. Chanel was up 4-0 against Yagami in one of the recent EWCs, and then he brought it back 5-4 victory. It was insane, and he's been doing variations of that this time around as well, where he beat the John who was using Armor King, made a crazy comeback. I seen even FDX made a video about that. But today, at least early on, there was no need for a comeback. Yagami won 5-1, eliminating the Johns Eddie, and also he was trying to pick Nina. It was a very interesting concept he was going for, because with the first of 5, you do have opportunities to experiment and try different characters and test their knowledge, but the Nina pick wasn't working. He tried it at the start and he switched back to it at the end, but regardless, Yagami was just able to blast through with the Reina. The lone Australian in the tournament put on an incredible performance. You gotta respect it. Next up was another insane match. You had Zubair versus Rafe. Zubair won the LCQ. He's still in the tournament. He beat Arslan, the only person to do so far, and then also he was playing Paul Phoenix and Dragunov. Rafe was using Fakramam. He's normally plays Jin, but he's been using a lot of the Fakramam. He'll pull out the Jin from time to time. Zubair is an interesting case. I made a full video about him yesterday, just kind of talking a little bit about what the guy is displaying, which is incredible skill. I wonder if he will go on to be basically the best. His journey on a global stage is just beginning. Like, I know he's been dominating in Pakistan for a little while now, but on a global stage, bro, this is the first time a lot of people's hearing his name, and it's cool to see a lot of people root for the guy. They're like, oh, who's this guy? I want to see him win. I want to see what he could do against this person, that person, and he's doing it. He's definitely doing it. The match, though, with Rafe itself was a very close one. Honestly, this was the closest he came so far to being eliminated, because with this top 8, there is no true loser side. If you lose against your first opponent, you're out. So the score being so close, Rafe could have eliminated him. But now that Rafe lost that set, who else is going to stop him? Arslan is his next opponent. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I want to talk about the match between LowHigh and Ulsan, which was huge. It was a rematch from last year. This is the second place and first place players going at it again. And this match was so close. This match was even 3-3 at one point, but LowHigh was able to break through. He defeated Ulsan, eliminated him from the tournament using Brian Fury. With Ulsan being eliminated, this is the first time in history where someone besides Ulsan will win the EWC, since he is the back-to-back 24 and 25 champion. In the interview after the fact, Ulsan let the emotions flow. Shedding a couple of tears, he talked about the pressure of being on top, the pressure of having a back-to-back title, and a lot of people wanted to see him get the three-peat. He wasn't able to do so, but he put on a excellent performance up to this point. At least for 2 years, no one else will be able to say they're back-to-back EWC champions, so his name will definitely be etched in history on that one. As for Numan versus Arslan, it was a Pakistani classic. Arslan won with Kunimitsu 5-2 over Numan's Steve. Pakistan doesn't really have Kunimitsus like that, which is kind of the reason, it's partially the reason why Arslan left Pakistan. I know he also left because like he's raising a family and whatnot. He wanted to do it somewhere safe and whatnot, but he also was talking about how Pakistan doesn't have certain type of characters, right? Doesn't have a Kazuya, doesn't have a good Kunimitsu, and when he moves to Japan, he doesn't really have to deal with that problem, but also he could leverage that problem, that information, that skill that he learned fighting against Koreans and Japanese against his own countrymen, right? The other Pakistanis. He could leverage Kunimitsu and put pressure on them and end up winning the set 2-5, eliminating Numan from the tournament. It was cool to see so many Pakistanis in top 8 because last year it was like this thing about the Pakistani curse, how they can't do it, and so many of those guys show up and they all get wiped out. But this time around, they were able to lock in, stay motivated, stay sharp, and make their way through. At this point so far, everyone who's competed in the tournament has placed from 25th to 9th place. And the amount of prize money they're walking away with, the people in 25th place, people like Ninja Killer, people like Akari, Ni, they walk away with 7,500. As for the 17th place people, they get 12,500. And some of those guys are Tiff, Mogo, Tekken Master, Rangchu, Rest, and Owl. In 13th place, you have 20,000. For 13th place, that's how much you would win at like EVO or something. Those names are Manja, Zajan, Keisuke, and Quasimir. And then as for 9th place, currently you have 27,500 USD. And that goes to Farzine, Usamanabi, CBM, and Nobi. And I briefly mentioned in the past how when you translate this USD to Pakistani rupee, so the Pakistanis who place very high, they're sitting very comfortably right now. So with this newfound money, they can invest more into their region, they can invest more into their families, invest more into themselves. It's good to see a lot of people, lives being changed in a positive way because of Tekken. But once you talk about the deeper sides of the tournament, at this point, there's only 4 names remaining: Yagami, LowHigh, Zubair, and Arslan Ash. The match between Yagami and LowHigh was insane. At one point in time, Yagami could have did it again and made another great comeback, but LowHigh put a stop to it. He kept the pressure on, he kept the pedal going, and he beat him 5-2. Brian Fury, Reina. Now, after that, we had history be made. We already had Arslan versus Zubair the first day, or no, the third day, and Zubair won that. It was crazy, right? I was wondering why Arslan wasn't picking Nina. He was picking Kunimitsu, and then people in the chat or the comment section said that, you know, these guys played before, and Zubair smoked them. So this is why Arslan was trying to switch things up. But then in the rematch, right, the final day, they played again. And Arslan, instead of picking the Kunimitsu, he went back to the Nina. And this one was way more close. It was so much closer. But then Arslan got off of Nina and went to the Zafina pick. The Zafina. And this was when things was crazy, bro. It was back and forth here and there. And honestly, there was multiple opportunities where Arslan could have extended the set. He was on final round, I believe, twice. And then Zubair just locked in, bro. Define, locked in. Play that set. That is the definition of it. There's times where it looks like he's kind of losing momentum, losing a little bit of pressure, and then all of a sudden he just sidesteps, he starts moving around, he starts poking, and then he's back in control. Arslan could have won at 4-2, he could have won at 4-3, he could have won at 4-4, but Zubair took the set in the most devastating way, 4-5. Arslan got a counter hit launch and he was doing a combo and it dropped. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the reason why it dropped is because he inputted it just a little bit too late. Like I slowed it down and you can see Nina, the full extension of her hands. It's like basically after Dragunov passes, but just from the eye, it looks like he dropped the combo. He was just slightly too slow. Zubair took that opportunity. He stood up and he launched punish Arslan Ash. The drop combo that was heard around the world and a punish that echoed soon after.
Oh my god, Arslan with the block. Grabs Ash one again. Oh! And that drop is going to do it. Arslan Ash is eliminated. The LCQ champion has a chance to be an EWC champion as he takes out Arslan Ash 5-4.
With a sigh of relief, Zubair once again defeated Arslan Ash, and basically at that moment he secured the tournament because there was honestly no one who was going to stop him. Arslan then went on to be defeated again by Yagami, who claimed third place. There's a lot of money there. And then grand finals was a blowout, bro. That was the quickest grand finals first to 5 I've ever seen in my life. Zubair beat LowHigh 5-0 and claimed an historic victory. The first Pakistani to win EWC, the first to win the LCQ and EWC. They have an award for that. I think it's called like the Josepher Award, where you get a bonus 50K. His total prize now, not only does he get a 250K from the grand finals from first place, but he also gets the 50K from that bonus award, the Josepher Award, and he has 300,000. This is a historic landmark victory. I don't think this has ever been done. Winning LCQ and the tournament, never been done, not to my understanding. And then at the end of it, he was able to get 3 keys, and he chose to get Arslan's, he chose to get Ulsan's, and he chose to get the John's. This guy, I'm sure we're going to see so much more of him. With this victory, he already secures his spot for the Tekken World Tour Final, so it definitely guarantees we'll see him there, but hopefully we'll see him at EVO France. And we have a new Saiyan arrive, the Vegeta arc in Tekken 7, and now is this Frieza? Congratulations to everyone who participated, and congratulations to Zubair for making history.